Welcome, welcome. So today we're going to do a quick playthrough of Deckbox Dungeons. I am actually going to do this as a little bit of an explainer video because I had some questions of my own. I wrote to the developer, he was kind enough to write back to me, and so I want to clarify a few things about this game as I show you one round of it plus the setup, okay? So Deckbox Dungeons is a game that is both cards and comes with an accompanying app and its own custom dice. And this is how it goes. So basically we're going to hit new game here, and we're going to play the starter campaign here called Troll Trial. All right, forgive all the reflections and stuff. I'm just going to try to do this quick and dirty. Okay, so we're going to hit start. Okay, so there are 15 cards here, and they're double-sided, so you'll have a 1A and a 1B, etc. Because this is the start-off campaign, we're going to be able to easily identify 1A as the starting map, and we're going to play 2 characters, which is what's recommended for a beginner because it's very difficult to win with a single character. So I'm playing solo tonight, and we're going to place our 2 meeples right there in the starting green box, okay? And not much is going to happen. Now, for the setup, you're going to take your character, you're going to pick a weapon for them. As you can see, these are also double-sided. I could have picked a longbow and made this guy into more of like a hunter ranger type, but I chose daggers on this one. And then we're going to pick like some sort of special ability card for them that they can use these kind of attacks. Now, I do not want to, for this guy, play Oathsworn because he's not a cleric. I'm going to play him more like a hunter spec. Okay, and then right here at the bottom, you can see the health that they'll have, and you set the card counter to that. And these are obviously going to be at 0 right now. What's going to happen is every time you have a successful hit, this energy card will give you another energy point, whether or not that attack is blocked by the enemy. So we'll get to that later. Those energy points will be spent here, as you can see, the 3, 3, and 5 to use one of your special attacks. Okay? So the other thing is that these characters have a speed indicator. So this guy's got a +6 speed, and this guy over here's got a +5 Calder. By the way, these characters come with their own like whole story and everything. You can play their personal campaigns, and you can read about them online, etc. All right, so there's not going to be anything in this room. As you can see when I tap on this, it says this room doesn't have anything or anyone in it. All right, so we're going to click on the Explore button, and it'll open up the next room. Now, this is different than the last time I played this campaign, so this is somewhat randomized, which is really nice. Here we can see that it wants 9B, and it's going to be upside down. All right, so we're going to find the 9B card here, and there it is. And looking at that, it connects like so. Perfect. All right. And basically, we're going to just walk our meeples over to the new entrance, which is right there. Now, this red in any room is the spawn point. Okay, so now we're going to tap on this room here. And what we get is, there's a group huddled around a small fire. We're going to spawn 4 greens. So a green is a green die. And we're going to pick these up, and we're going to roll them to see what they are. And so we're going to get 2 ranged, one that's got 2 hit dice, basically, or 2 hit points, one that's got 1, and then 2 melee. And so they're going to basically be placed around the spawn point in a way that follows this map right here. Okay, so as you can see, we start, the first one we place is right at the spawn point, and then we go diagonally to the left for 2, up to the right for 3, diagonally down to the left for 4, 5, etc., etc. And you just kind of keep placing them until they're all in position, okay? So that's number 1. Number 2 will go there. We can't really do a 3 on the diagonal, so we'll put him here, and then we'll put our archer over here. Now, on each turn, our characters can do 2 actions, and those are found here on this card. They can move, they can attack, or they can do a special action when possible. Now, note that their move is that their speed again, right? And that neither character can do their turn until the other character's done all of its actions. So we'll go with Salmarin first. He can move 6 steps. We'll make him the blue guy. Actually, you know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to move my melee guy, Calder, first, because I don't want him to get blocked by my archer. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, except that, as you can see here, his speed is slowed by 1 because he's carrying this heavy sword and shield. So he's got to move it back 1. So he's going to try to make his way around this corridor to get over there. And also, note that this corridor pretty much means that I can't really shoot across it. It's not like it's a pit or anything. It's just a wall. So they basically haven't yet seen this cluster of monsters. And that means I'm going to move Salmarin his 6 steps. He's got no speed penalty. All right. So he's going to move 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's as far as he can go right now. And the monsters aren't there yet. So we're just going to keep walking these guys around because nothing's really going to happen until they do move. And then dunk-da-dunk-da-dunk, and now they're here. Okay, now let's get into combat. For some reason, it wasn't expressly clear to me exactly how the combat works when reading the manual. So this is one of the things I wanted to clarify. So it says roll dice based on equipment, add modifiers to roll, result of 6+ is a hit. I just wasn't sure if it meant, like, because this guy has got, you know, 1 die plus 1, or this guy's, or 2 dice plus 2, if it meant that I roll those 2 dice and add the result plus 2 and see if that's higher than a 6, or if each die is its own separate attack roll, right? So it turns out that each die is its own unique attack roll. So what we're going to do is, because we're at range here, as you can see, they're not quite upon them yet, he's going to fire his bow, his arrow. So he's rolling 1 die, and he's got to get a 6, and he's not going to get it, even though we have 1 plus 1 plus 2. That takes him to a 4, so that's a miss. So he has 2 moves. Now, he already did his move around the board, so that was action 1, and now he took his attack. That was action 2. So now we're going to go over to Calder, and it's his turn, and he's already done his move also. So he could try to fire, but he doesn't even have the ability to fire a bow and arrow because he's carrying a sword and a shield. Now, the monsters can see us, and so they're going to now attack. Now, they cannot shoot over each other, so but an enemy is able to both move and attack if possible, but unlike a player character, they cannot attack twice in one turn. A player character can make both of their both of their actions an attack, but an enemy cannot. Similarly, a natural 6 on a die roll for a player character is a critical hit that cannot be blocked, but for a monster, it does not equal a critical hit. Monsters do not score criticals, okay? So basically, the only monsters right now that can do anything are the top 2. And they go in order of ranged first, melee second, and then green, blue, and red in that order, okay? And that's outlined somewhere in the rule book, so just know that ranged will go first. And so this guy right here, now, what we haven't done yet is actually pulled the monster cards that match up with these symbols. So this is what we're going to do. We've got green melee, so that's right here, a melee card. Now, it could be this side of the card, or we could flip it over. Now, I just want to show you something about the way that you determine which monster you're going to choose. Like, again, I showed you that you have a green melee guy, and it could be a cultist, or it could be a slip thief. Well, when you are in your campaign, there's this little button right here that you can press, and it gives you more details about that particular campaign. So here it says the enemies, if it's a green melee, it's going to be an arrowhead. Sorry, if it's a green range, it's going to be an arrowhead. If it's a green melee, it's going to be a slip thief, etc., etc. And so that's how you figure out who is who in the campaign and which side, what kind of monsters are basically crawling the dungeon that you're in. The other thing is that, like, if you look here, Actually, I think it's going to be in this one. There's a moment here that actually brings up doing checks. So on your character, you've got strength, dexterity, wisdom, and charisma. And basically, these are modifiers that help you. And as you can see, this is assisted here. In order to do a check, you're going to roll 4 dice, and each die that is a 6 or higher is a successful roll. And to do a check, you have to basically have as many successful rolls as are required to pass the check. So for example, it says here they may attempt a wisdom 3 check. So you would roll 4 dice, and you would want to have as many 6s as possible. So he gets 1, 2, 3 clearly, and there's a 3 there, which his wisdom is not, he's got a 1 modifier. So the 3 doesn't make it, but the other 3 are 6s or better. And so we do pass that check, okay? And that's how you roll skill checks as well. Now, let's go back to Salmarin and try one more time. Does he even have a melee? Yes, he's got these awesome daggers. So he is now going to attack this green melee cultist right up at the front, okay? So he's gonna roll 2 dice, and we've got 3 and 3 plus 2, so there's no hits, bad stuff. All right, now let's see if Calder can do anything. He'll move in, and he'll also try to attack this cultist because the ranger is not gonna be able to do much to him right now. So Calder is rolling 3 dice. He's got 3 chances to hit this guy. All right, so let's roll. And we get a 5, which is definitely gonna turn into a hit. So we got 5 plus 2. So that's our 1 hit. The other 2 missed. And so what we do is we increase his energy by 1 because he finally managed to get a hit in there. Note how, again, his health starts at 8, so we set the card to 8 there. He's got 1 energy. He needs like 4, 6, and 7 energy to do really anything interesting. Okay, so now this was a hit, but now the cultist is going to get a chance to defend, so he needs to get a 6. He rolls a 2 plus his defense of 1, so he does not manage to block Calder's swipe, and this character is defeated because he's got 1 hit point, basically, right? Now, we're going to roll this die, and we roll it 2 for loot. And so what that means is that now Calder gets 2 treasure points, okay? And now these can be used at any time to buy something from the market. Right here, I could buy one of this one is worth 4, and this one's worth 5, and this one's worth 3. And I could, once I have enough points, I could buy, one of these things, a potion to gain 3 energy, to gain 6 energy, etc., etc. And then I would add them to my inventory, and so on and so forth. And then you go through the game, and that's basically how you play. I'll just show you that there's this chart here for how you can deal with melee. You can fight diagonally, that's called reach. Then there's ranged. Line of sight has to be straight or diagonal. It can't be obviously in an L shape. And that's it. And there's a bunch of print and play modules online that are free at this point. And that hopefully helps to explain how you play Deck Box Dungeon. I hope you enjoyed, and talk to you soon.